I sat all around the table. Oh, that's a beaut, Judy, said Grandma Miller. I know it, Grandma. I know it is a beaut. I said, real proud. I can't wait to take it to school for show and tell. The children are going to love this thing. Daddy looked straight at me. Oh, gee, I don't know, honey, he said. I'm not really sure you should take it to school. Mother shook her head. No, Judy, that's definitely not a good idea, she said. And besides, you won't even have your tooth on Monday. Remember, you have to leave it for the tooth fairy tonight. Just then, my skin got chill bumps again, and the butterflies came back in my stomach. Because I know stuff about the fairy. That's why. My voice felt kind of shaky. Yeah, only what if I don't want to leave my tooth for the fairy, Mother, I said. What if I just want to take it to show and tell, and that's all? Mother shook her head again. No, Junabe, show and tell, she said. Taking a tooth to show and tell is just, well, it's just disgusting, said Daddy. Yes, my mother, disgusting. I whined at those two. No, it isn't. I said lots of kids bring teeth to school. Because one time Roger bought a shark's tooth, and he even let me and her put it right in our mouths. And then we looked like sharks too. I thought some more. Plus another time, Shirley brought her grandmother's dentures, and lots of us put those in our mouths too. Grandma Miller did a little gag, only I don't actually know why. My grandpa patted her hand. Just be glad she doesn't want to take the spit cup, he whispered. Just then my whole face lit up. Because I have ears like a hawk, of course, a spit cup. The spit cup. I will take the spit cup, I hollered. I jumped down from my chair and I zoomed to the bathroom. Then I got the spit cup out of the trash and I dusted it off real good. Good news, people, I shouted real loud. There's still some blood around the edges. I quick ran back to show them. Grandma Miller closed her eyes at that sight. Then Mother put her head on the table and hid her face in her arms. The festivities were over, I believe. After Grandma and Grandpa Miller left, Mother took me to the bathroom and she brushed my teeth real careful. Then I took my loose tooth out of my pocket and I brushed that guy too. I held it up to the light. Look, I said. Look how shiny I made it. I really wish I could take this tooth to school, Mother. I really, really wish that with all my might. Mother gave me a hug. I know you do, Junabe, she said. But it's still going to be fun to put it under your pillow tonight, isn't it? She smiled. I remember when I was a little girl, I couldn't wait to wake up in the morning to find out how much money the tooth fairy had left me. My skin got prickly at that name again. Also, sweaty came to my head. I thought and thought about what to do, and then finally, I stood on my tippy toes and I whispered in Mother's ear, yeah, only I know stuff about the fairy, Mother, I said. I know the truth. Mother looked shocked at me. The truth, she said. You know the truth? Yes, I whispered again. I know the exact truth, Mother, because last year Polly Allen Puffer told me the whole entire story. I took another deep breath. Then I cupped my hands around her ear, and I talked even quieter. The fairy isn't real, I said. The tooth fairy is just pretend. Mother's eyes got big and wide at me. No, she said. Yes, I whispered back. Pollyanna learned it from her big brother. The tooth fairy isn't a tooth fairy at all. She's actually a teensy little tooth witch. Mother's mouth all the way open. The tooth witch. Shh, I said. You have to talk soft, Mother. If the tooth witch hears anyone telling her secret, she flies into your room that night and she pinches your cheeks. Mother covered her face with her hands. She was in shock, I believe. Pollyanna's brother even saw the tooth witch, I said, because one night he put a tooth under his pillow and then he stayed awake all night and he saw the tooth witch fly into his room on a teensy little toothbrush. Oh my, said Mother. I know it was. Oh my, I said. And that is not even the worst part, because the witch walked right under his pillow and she carried out his tooth and then she chomped a big bite out of it, just like it was a little tooth apple. Mother made a noise behind her hands. I patted her very nice. I know how you feel, I said. This is very hard to hear. Finally, Mother took my hands away. It doesn't really make sense, Genevieve, she said. I mean, why would a mean little witch leave money under the pillow? A witch would never do something that nice, would she? I rolled my eyes way up to the ceiling, because sometimes I have to explain everything to that woman. Of course she would, Mother. Don't you get it? The witch leaves money so that children think she's really a fairy. Because if children don't think there's a fairy, they won't leave their teeth, right? And if they don't leave their teeth, the witch won't get any tooth apples. Mother closed her eyes very tight, and all of a sudden she opened up the bathroom door and she ran right out of the room. She was taking it harder than I thought. Super Bowl night.
Dad.
We don't have much to go.
80 pages and we're at 40. Oh, not even half of that.
What do you want to do? Should we finish it in the morning? Get you up early, because it is bedtime.
Wait, we're at 6, and there's 9.
No, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 3 chapters left.
Just keep going.
That night, Daddy tucked me into bed. He said that Polly Allen's Puffer's brother is full of soup. There's no such thing as a tooth witch, Genevieve, he said. I promise you, there isn't. Polly Allen Puffer's brother just made that up to scare Polly Allen. And then Polly Allen said it to scare you too. I shook my head. No, Daddy, no, it's not made up. I know it isn't, because the tooth witch makes sense. That's why, I said. She makes way more sense than a fairy. Daddy raised his eyebrows. Why, he asked. Why does a witch make more sense than a fairy? Because, I said, because the tooth witch likes to chomp the teeth. But the tooth fairy doesn't do anything with the teeth at all, right? And so why would she even pay money for them? Daddy did a little frown. Well, I don't know exactly, he said. I'm sure that she must do something with the teeth, Genevieve. There are other things to do with teeth besides just chomping them, you know. Like what, I asked. Daddy put his head in his hands. Then he thought and thought and thought. After he got done thinking, he went to get Mother. She came into my room carrying Fussy Ollie. She handed him to Dad and sat down on the bed. Daddy said, you have another problem about the tooth fairy, she said. I nodded. Yes, I said, because if there's really a fairy, then she has to have a reason to want the teeth, right, Mother? She wouldn't just throw them in the garbage, because that doesn't make any sense. Plus, also, it would hurt my feelings. Mother hugged me. No, Genevieve, of course. She doesn't throw them in the garbage, she said. I'm sure the fairy does something very special with the teeth. Like what, I said. Mother ran her tired fingers through her hair. She stood up and walked back and forth on the rug. Then, all of a sudden, her face got brighter. I know. I bet the fairy uses the teeth to make jewelry, she said. At first, Daddy and I didn't say any words. We just stared and stared at that woman. Jewelry, I said finally. Yes, Mother smiled. Yes, of course, she said. She probably uses the teeth to make little tooth necklaces and bracelets and cute little toe rings. How does that sound? I made a sick face. It sounds repulsive, said Daddy. Mother stopped smiling. She took Ollie back from Daddy and she hurried out of the room. After she left, Daddy finished tucking me in bed. I'm sorry about that, Junibee, he said. I'm afraid Ollie has your mother warned you a frazzle these days. But I'm sure she's not right about that jewelry thing. He did a little shiver. No, certainly she's not, he said. Then, before I could ask any more questions about the fairy, he kissed me goodnight and he rushed out of the room as fast as Mother. That night, I did not put my tooth under my pillow. Also, I did not put it under there the night after that, or the night after that, because what do you know, the fairy still did not make sense. A stumper. The next morning was school. I put my spit cup into my backpack and I took it on to my bus stop because Mother said I couldn't take my tooth, but the spit cup was Grandpa's idea. I saved Herb a seat, then I bounced up and down real excited because I couldn't wait for him to see me, of course. Finally, we got to his bus stop. I waved to him from the window. Then, I leaned my face real close to the glass and I smiled my biggest smile. Herb's eyeballs popped out of his head. He ran to the bus zippity quick. It came out, Herb, it came out, I said. My tooth came out on Friday and it's been out ever since. I smiled for him again. See me, Herb? See how I look? I look fascinating, right? I don't look like Uncle Lou, hardly. Herb's eyeballs kept popping out at me. Whoa, he said. Wow. I laughed at that nice comment. I smiled.